Scott Golden, Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel and Power of Perception on Twitter at PO Perception. Give us a follow and you can have a subject of the day covered here. Today we're going to cover something that's very important. How do we deal with negative emotions, specifically impatience, and the importance of learning how to manage that. Now, impatience usually becomes out of the need to view things differently. The impatient nature is the absence of the belief of control. And so when we're waiting for something and we expect that it will make us feel better, we often get in the mode of, why isn't it here yet? Why haven't I attracted it yet? Why aren't I there yet? Why isn't this happening yet? Why can't I find a job yet? Why can't I find a mate yet? Why can't I find it yet? Right? But the reality is, the more we put towards the why can't I, we take ourselves into a passive mode rather than an active mode. That passive mode is the expectation that something is going to change without our changing our relationship to it. And ultimately, that defeats the very purpose of what we're trying to create, because in the essence of it all, what we're really doing is we're putting resistance towards the thing we very much want. Because when we focus on the absence of something, what we're really focusing on is our feeling of powerlessness. And so when we focus on the absence of not having something yet, or something not occurring yet, or an opportunity not becoming together yet, we lose our I am statements, because the I am statement that goes into our habitual mind is simply, I am lacking something. I am without this thing that I want, desire, deserve, or need. And so the resolution of that is essential to personal recovery in every way. And so when we look at what we have versus what we do not have, or when we look at what we can create versus what we do not have, then we create opportunities and potentials for things to change and shift in a positive direction. So impatience truly is simply the absence of the belief that one has control. And so the question becomes, what can I do differently anytime we become impatient or imbalanced or frustrated or saddened by the absence of something? Rather than focusing on the absence, say simply, what does someone who has this thing that I do not have in this moment, that is coming to me but is not exactly where I want it to be in this moment, what are they doing that I could do? What are they doing that I could mirror image? What are they creating that I could co-create, so that I may have certain levels of experience to be able to heighten and quicken the steps at which I am trying to achieve certain goals or aspirations? Because when I am trying to gain insight into what's not happening or why it isn't happening, I often become focused on the lack of it, which then changes my energy and my thoughts, therefore my focus, therefore my actions, and everything gets all sideways. You know, it's ultimately, even if one says, what can I do today that's one step closer to where I want to be? Who can I talk to today? Or what action can I take today that may not complete the journey, but at least takes me closer to it? And then the other thing too is, reflect on the times when you felt other things weren't going to happen for you. There were times when I remember starting my coaching practice some 11 years ago, and I thought, where are clients going to come from? And I was very nervous about that. And I was very impatient. I wanted to help people. I wanted to serve the world. I wanted to make a big difference. And I would sit every day and go, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? And then the amazing thing was, I started to write my first ebook. And all of a sudden, while I'm writing, the phone is ringing and there's people coming. Because my attention to the fact of what I did not have only drew into alignment proof from within the laws and the value of what I could attract. People weren't going to want to talk to me if I sounded overeager. Now, if I sounded sure of myself that I had time to help them and the ability to help them, all of a sudden, the type of people that I attracted into my experience and my life were completely different. Now, this isn't just law of attraction. Simply put, if you're not going to put actions towards changing something, if you're not going to leave your house, if you're not going to maybe even leave your city, or leave your state, or leave where you are, or leave your employment, or go out to new places, if you're not going to create actions that allow possibility, then impatience is only going to heighten, because if you do the same thing over and over again, you'll get the same result over and over again. And so if you want different results, you must take different actions. Ask yourself in this moment, what do I really desire and what am I willing to do or sacrifice in order to get that desire into my experience of life? Because if you're not willing to change actions, then you're not going to get different results. Impatience also comes from the illusion of competition. The illusion of competition simply says that I should already be, or I ought to already be, or this already should have happened. The competition that it happened for somebody else, therefore it should happen for me, is all an illusion because life does not have a competitive nature to it until we put it into the existence of our thought pattern. In other words, just because someone else has something doesn't mean they didn't do something differently than you did, or didn't have other interactions or opportunities that you didn't have. So therefore, from the place at which you are trying to get to a certain goal or objective, you must also be able to see yourself as completely and fully able to respond with actions that align with the opportunities to reveal themselves. If I'm trying to meet a new person, then I must go to a new place. If I'm trying to interact with a new style of person or to build a tribe of people, I must go where the people who think and behave the way in which I do or which I would like them to are going to be. I cannot do the things I've already done and expect to get different results unless I've changed a parameter, the time of day that I do it, or the place that I do it, or the words that I use, or the focus that I have. Impatience really also is lack of faith, because if we know that everything is working together for our best interest, if we know that even the circumstances we see as negative really can be used as positives depending on our perception of them and the way in which we use them, then in that moment we must begin to understand that every circumstance is just an opportunity for learning and growth. It doesn't mean that you've done something wrong if something hasn't shown up yet. It doesn't mean that you're broken or that your way of thinking is so counterproductive that it can never happen. But it does invite the opportunity to focus on something different. Focus on things that you've done that you didn't think you could. Focus on the mindset you had when things were going really, really well for you. Focus on the things that are expanding and the ways in which people around you are interacting. You know, people watching can be a valuable thing because it can give you the ability to begin to see the realities of what you are trying to attract into your life or trying to experience in your life. In other words, if you want to have more love in your life, watch how loving people interact with each other. Just go people watch. If you want to become a multimillionaire or billionaire, then look at how those people also react and respond to what's happening. In other words, if someone wants to be a millionaire, they don't hang out with people that work at Burger King. If someone wants to be, a really successful business owner, they don't hang out with people who've had businesses that have gone under. Why is that? Because we ultimately get to a place where growth happens when we are putting steps in alignment with what we really want out of life as an experience. And so the reality of that is that we cannot be impatient when we realize that every moment of every day is an opportunity. What we do with that opportunity is completely within our power of choice, our power of reason, our power of logic, and our power of desire. The actions we take are as a direct result of what we believe is possible. And so if we are impatient, it is because we believe we deserve something, or the world owes us something, or a circumstance or person or situation owes us something. It is that ego-based entitlement, then, that causes the emotion of impatience, but that impatience is also the belief, the false belief, that in the having of whatever it is we're trying to get to, in the achievement of whatever goal or aspiration or relationship we're trying to have, that we will feel better in the having of it. But if we feel better now with the realization that we have co-creative power and the ability to change the world every single second of every day, when we are in that space where we begin to understand that truth, it is then